So hello and welcome to this Adobe Animate tutorial. We are going to one more time create the HTML5 animated banner, and right now I will show you what we are going to be doing today. So I'm on the site Freepik, and I'm going to provide you a link in the description as always. And I'm also going to provide you the PNG file that we are going to create right now in the Photoshop. But keep in mind that if you want this to use commercially, you will have to attribute the author or go premium. So right now I will click pre-download, and I'm going to hit save. But I already saved this, so I will go to the place where I have saved this, and I'm going to have this in here. And let me delete everything else. So we are going to have a zip file like this, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose extract here, and this is going to give me some files, and one of them is going to be this PSD file, and you can go ahead and double click on this PSD file and it should open this in Photoshop. Or what you can do is open your Photoshop and drag it in here like so, and it is going to open you something like this. Now what I want to do is we are going to have a bunch of layers, and one of them is going to be this background. So I'm basically going to hide this background, and we are going to stay only with the car. But we are going to have a few things in here, the shadow and other stuff. So what I can do is I can go ahead and put everything to the one layer. So I'm going to select all of these layers, and I'm going to hit Ctrl E. And this is going to put me everything to the one layer. So now what I'm going to do is I will create new document, Ctrl N or File New, and I will go with 500 by 600, and I'm going to hit create. And I will go to in here, and I'm going to drag this card to the new document like so. I'm going to have some kind of warning or something like that, but I'm just going to click yes. Now I'm going to convert this to the smart object, so I will right click and choose convert to smart object. And basically this means that if you are going to scale this down, what we are going to do now, so I'm going to scale this and I'm going to hold Alt. If you are in the new version of the Photoshop, you do not need to hold Shift, but if you are in the old version, you have to hold Shift to stay proportional. But basically I'm going to scale the card down like so. And the smart object basically means that if right now I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to scale this up, I will be able. Without the smart object, this would get blurry. But we are going to have something like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this background, so I will stay only with the car, and I'm going to export this as a PNG. So I will go to the file, I will go to the export, I will go export as, and now I'm going to choose that I want to have PNG, and I don't want this smaller file size, because this could make this bad in the Adobe Animate. But there is a possibility, pretty big possibility, we will see, that this will be bigger than 150 kilobytes. So for the Google Ads, you can only have the images or the banner size which is smaller than 150 kilobytes. But yeah, we will see if we are going to get it or not. But right now I'm going to click export, and I will go to the place where I want to export this. So I will go in here. And I have this in here, and I'm going to create a new document which I'm going to call PNG, and I have this in Spanish because I'm learning it, but yeah, and I'm going to call this car, and I will hit save. And now I will go to the Adobe Animate, and I'm going to create new document, and basically I will go with 300 by 600. So I'm going to type in here 300 by 600, and I want this to be HTML5 document. Frame rate is fine as it is, so basically I am going to hit create, and now I will go to the place where I have saved my PNG file. So it is going to be in here, tutorial PNG, and I am going to drag it to the animate like so. And now if you don't see the rest of the car, you can click this clip content outside of the stage, and you are going to see only the things which are in the canvas, or you can unclick it and you are going to see whole car. First of all, I am going to convert this to the symbol, so I will click on the car, I will go to the modify, and I'm going to choose convert to symbol, and I'm going to call this car. If you want to animate something in Adobe Animate, you will have to convert it to the symbol. So I will hit OK. And right now in the library, I am going to have a car like so. And now what I can do is I can create a very simple animation where the car go from the left to the right. So I can maybe start in here like so, and I will go to the frame, I don't know, maybe 200, we will see later on, and I will click F6, or you can right click and insert keyframe like so, and I am going to position this to the other side like so, and I am going to create classic twin. So I will click anywhere in between, right click and choose create classic twin. And right now I will hit Ctrl Enter to see how this is going to be looking in the browser. And this is going to be very slow, so I'm going to make this faster. So I will go back to the Adobe Animate, and I will maybe position this to 125, I don't know. One thing also is that I would like to change the color of the background, so I'm going to click anywhere, I will go to the properties, and I will click on this stage color, and I'm going to change it to something which is almost black. So something like this, and yeah, and I will hit Ctrl Enter one more time to see. And maybe right now I can make this little bit slower. You can play with this as you want. So I'm going to put it maybe to 160, Ctrl Enter one more time, and we are going to have something like this. Very well. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and create a new layer. So I will hit this new layer, but right now I'm going to rename this layer. So this is going to be car, and this is going to be black shape, so I'm just going to call this to be black. And what I'm going to do on this layer is I will get a rectangle tool, and I will choose that I don't want to have a stroke color, and I want to have the fill color, which is going to be black. And I'm going to basically draw a shape like so while I am on this new layer, and I will click on this, and I will convert this to the symbol, so F8, and I'm going to call this to be black, or you can call this symbol 1, and I will click OK. And what I'm going to do is I will go maybe to frame 55, I don't know. I will click F6 to create new keyframe, or right click create keyframe, and I will click on this black shape, and I will go to the properties, color effects, and I'm going to choose that the alpha, which is transparency, is going to be 0. And basically I'm going to create a classic twin, and we are going to have an animation of this black shape, which is going to lose the transparency like so. And I'm going to hit Ctrl Enter, and we will see what we are going to have. So we are going to have it like so. And if you want, what you can do maybe is you can duplicate this initial keyframe with Alt like so. So basically first 5 frames we are going to have this black shape, and then it is going to slowly fade away. So Ctrl Enter, and we are going to have something like this. Now I'm going to create these light effects. So I will go ahead to this first frame, and maybe I can go ahead and for a moment hide this black shape, and I'm going to double click to the car. And right now I am in the scene 1 in the car, and right now we are in the separated timeline. Because in the Adobe Animate you have basically timelines in the timeline, but in here I'm going to rename this layer to be car, and I'm going to create a new layer, and this layer I'm going to call mask. So I'm going to call this mask, and maybe I will call it mask 1, because maybe I will create more mask. But what I want to do right now is I'm going to get rid of this layer, and I'm going to create new layer, and I'm going to call this layer to be light 1. And what I'm going to do is I will zoom in with Ctrl and mouse wheel, and I will go to the pen tool like so, and I'm going to create a shape like so. So I will click in here, I will click and drag like so, and I will click and drag like so, and I will click in here to close this. And now I have created something like this, and if I want to adjust this, I will go to the subselection tool, and I will click in here, and I can move these points if I want. Or what I can do is while holding Alt, I can break this handle, so I can do something like this. I can go ahead and adjust this handle. So everything we are doing with this subselection tool. And while I'm satisfied, what I can do is I can go to this paint bucket tool, or K, and I'm going to choose some fill color. I can go with red, but it doesn't matter, and I'm going to click in here, and it is going to give you a shape like this. And if for some reason I will go back, you are going to click and nothing is going to happen. The reason probably is that you didn't close the path, because if the path with the pen is not closed, if there is like I don't know, in here a little space, it is not going to give you a fill color. So yeah, so I will click and I'm going to have something like this, and I can go ahead and double click, but I will have to go to the selection tool, not sub selection. So I will click, and this is going to select only the fill color, and if I'm going to double click, I will select the fill and the stroke, and I will get rid of the stroke color like so. So I will get only with this one. Very well. And now what I can do is I can click on this red shape, and I can go ahead and change the color on the color that I want. I can go with something which is white, or I can go with something which is like little bit yellow, something like this. This depends on you. So I will right now go with something which is little yellow, but you can do what you want. And what I'm going to do is I will click on this one, and I'm going to convert this to the symbol, so F8, and I can call this to be light, and I'm going to click OK. And now what I will do is I will click on this, and I will go to the add filter, and I will choose blur, and this is going to give me an option to blur this, and I'm going to blur this like so, and this is going to looks like a light. And what I can do maybe is I can go ahead, hit Q, and I can maybe scale this little bit, so we can have something like this. And now what I am going to do is in the scene 1, we have the timeline, and this timeline goes, we have the end of the timeline on the frame 200. So I will do the same thing in the inner timeline. So I will go to the first keyframe, and in this first keyframe I will double click on this car, and I am going to extend the timeline in here to 200 frames. So I will click in here with shift in here, and I will click F5 or right click insert frame. This is going to extend me the timeline. And now what I can do is with this light, I can create a new keyframe, maybe on the frame 50. I will see. I will click F6, and basically I will position this initial keyframe maybe in here to the frame 40, and this one maybe in here, because at the beginning we are going to have this animation of this black shape. So that's why I don't want this animation to appear immediately. But what I can do is I can go in here, and maybe I can click, and I can choose the alpha transparency is going to be 0, and I'm going to create classic twin. So basically this is going to be animating like so. And I'm going to hit Ctrl Enter, and I will see how this is going to be looking. So we are going to have something like this, and yeah. I have changed my mind, and I'm going to position this at the beginning, maybe like so, and I'm going to maybe make this like this, and I will hit Ctrl Enter, and we will see. So we are going to have something like this. And maybe if you want, you can go ahead and create this animation like so. Let it stay in here, so F6, and then I'm going to copy the first keyframe, and I'm going to position it maybe in here, and I'm going to create classic twin. So basically right now this light will go away, and these dots I can remove them, remove classic twin. So we are going to have something like this. I will hit Ctrl Enter, and I will see how this is going to look. So we have this light, and then the light goes away. And now what I can do is I can go ahead and create new layer, and this layer is going to be mask. So I'm going to double click, and this is going to be mask. And on this mask, what I'm going to do is I will go and I will get a pen tool. So I will hit P or pen tool, and I'm going to create some kind of mask. So what I can do is maybe I can create a mask on this logo. So I will click in here, click like so, and I'm going to create a shape like this, and I'm going to close this, and I will hit K, and I will choose that my fill is going to be red, and I will click like so. And while I am on the same layer, I will hit P for the pen tool, and I'm going to create a shape like so. So I'm going to click it like this, and I am going to create a new shape in here. So I'm going to click like this, and you can create this as much of this mask as you want. I am going to create only few of them, so something like this, and then something like this, and of course that you can go ahead and make this more precise, but I'm just playing. I will hit K, and I will click on this one, on this one, on this one, on this one, like so. And even though I can also go and hit P one more time, and I can create something like this. So I'm just creating the shapes, so something like this, K, and I'm going to click in here like so. And I could go ahead and maybe create one in here. So I'm going to create a shape like this. So something like this, and for now I'm not going to adjust this too much, but as I said, you can go to the sub selection tool, you can click and you can adjust this as you want. You can break the handle with Alt and so on, and I will hit K, and I will do it like so. And now what I'm going to do is I have something like this, and I am going to create a new layer. And on this new layer, I am going to get a rectangle tool, and I will choose that I don't want to have any stroke color, and fill color is going to be white. And I'm going to create a shape like this, and I'm going to convert this shape to the symbol, but I will have to go to the selection tool, and I'm going to click F8, and I can call this to be light effect, or you can call this to be just symbol 1 or whatever, and I will click OK, and I will click on this one, and I will go to these filters, and I will hit this plus sign, and I will choose blur, and I'm going to blur this like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate this blurry shape through the car. So I will go maybe to frame 90, I will see, and I will create new keyframe, and I'm going to position this, I will animate it like so. And I'm going to create a classic twin, so we are going to have a shape like this. And now I can hit Control Enter, and we are going to have something like this, and then we are going to have this light effect, and it is going to be moving with the car. But what we want to do is we don't want, of course, this light effect to be like so. So I will double click, and we want this light effect to be visible only where we have this mask. So I'm going to position the mask about this layer 5, and I can call this to be effect. And I am going to click on this mask layer. I will right click, and I'm going to choose mask. And right now basically what is going to happen is that this light is going to be visible only on these parts. So we are going to have something like this. I will hit Control Enter, and we are going to have something like this. And what I can do is I can go ahead and duplicate this mask and this effect. So I'm going to select both of them, right click and duplicate the layers. And right now what I can do is I can make this second animation to be a little bit later. So we can put it like so, and we are going to have it one more time. So I will hit Control Enter, and we are going to have it like so, and then have it one more time. And you can duplicate this as much as you want. So basically something like this. And then this will go one more time, and I can do this even more. I can go ahead and do it as much as I want, or yeah. So I can go ahead maybe and duplicate it one more time. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to choose duplicate layers, and right now I'm going to maybe position this in here. I don't know. And now what we can do is we can do the same thing as we did for this light with this one. So I'm going to create a new layer, and on this new layer I'm going to create the shape. So I will go to the pen tool, and I am going to draw something like this. And right now I'm not going to be really bothered about it. So basically something like this. And I will hit K, and I will click, and I will go to the selection tool, and I will double click, and I will get rid of the stroke, and I will convert this to the symbol F8, and I can call this to be symbol 1. That's fine. And as before, I will go to this blur, and I'm going to blur this like so, and maybe I can go ahead and hit Q and scale this little bit like so. So that's why it doesn't matter if you are not going to make the mask or the shape perfect, because you are going to play with this later on anyway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go maybe in here. I will maybe later on adjust this, and I'm going to put it in here, and I will create a new keyframe, F6, and I will go to this keyframe, and I'm going to choose that the alpha is going to be 0, and I'm going to create the classic twin. So we are going to have basically something like this. I will hit Ctrl Enter, and we will see how this is going to look. So we have something like this, these lights effects, and then we have something like this. And by default, this is going to be looping forever. But yeah. And now what I'm going to do is maybe I'm going to add one very little text. So I will go in here, or maybe I can make some kind of button, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to create a new layer, and on this new layer I can go ahead and maybe go with a rectangle, and I'm going to choose that the rectangle option is going to be 20. This means that I'm going to have rounded corners, and I can choose maybe, I don't know, I can go maybe with white color, and I can create a shape like so, and I can go ahead to the text tool, and I can type maybe something like, I can get the color of the background, and I can type something like try it now, or whatever. And I'm going to position this in here like so, and I'm going to click on the shape and on the text, and I will click F8. This is going to be button, and I will click OK. And basically right now I'm just going to animate the transparency of the button. So I'm going to go in here, create keyframe F6, and I will go to the initial keyframe, and I'm going to just put alpha to be 0, and I'm going to create classic twin. So we are going to have something like this, Ctrl Enter, and we are going to have the animation of the car. We are going to have all of these light effects, and then we are going to have this okay, I don't know what happened with the text. Let me go back. Okay, now I understand, because and I'm going to delete this. The problem is that I was in the wrong timeline, and that's why the button was in here. I should have been in the main timeline. So I'm going to create the new layer, and I will go to the library, and in the library I already have the button that I have created, and I can go ahead and position this maybe to the frame, I don't know, 155 or whatever, new keyframe F6, and I will go in here, and I will make this one to be 0 at the beginning, and I'm going to create classic twin. So basically this is going to appear like so, and one more time Ctrl Enter, and I will see how this is going to be looking. So we are going to have it like so, then something like this, and then the button. Okay, now if you want to stop this animation, I will show you. You will have to create a new layer on both of the timelines, and I'm going to right click, choose actions, and I'm going to type very simply, and I show this in almost all of the tutorials, this stop and semicolon, and I'm going to copy this, Ctrl C, and I'm going to paste this. I'm going to position this at the end like so, and I will go to the inner timeline. So I'm going to double click, and I will do the same thing in here. So I will choose actions, and I will paste this, and it is going to position me this code at the beginning. So what I can do is I can drag it in here like so, and basically this would mean that this is going to loop the animation once, and then it is going to stop, and it is not going to be looping anymore, and we would stay with something like this. And right now I will also show you how you can loop this more times and then stop. Alright, so right now I will go to this website and I'm going to provide you a link in the description. But basically in here you have a code, you have two codes, but I want to use the second one, but they are almost the same. And I will hit Ctrl C and I will go back to the Adobe Animate and I'm going to replace these codes. So I will right click, choose actions, and I'm going to replace this with this one. And basically this number in here means how many times the timeline is going to loop. So I want to have two loops, so this is going to be number 2. I will go back to the scene 1 and I will go in here and I will choose actions and I will replace this like so, and this is also going to be 2 like so. And one thing that I want to say is that I made this timeline to be 200 and the inner timeline also to be 200. If you are not going to have the timelines the same, the loop is going to be offset. So that's why I have created it like so. And now I'm going to show you how you can export this. So I will go to the file and I will go to the publish settings, but before I will have to save this first of all. So I'm going to hit Ctrl S and I will go in here and I'm going to create new document. So I'm going to call this document to be folder to be animate, and I will go inside and I'm going to call this to be car effect or something like this, and I'm going to hit save. And now if I go to the place where I have saved this, it is going to be in here. I'm going to have an animate file like so and one recovery file. But if I'm going to hit Ctrl Enter to see this in the browser, what is going to happen is that it is automatically going to publish me some files. So I will get rid of them because I don't want to have this like so. I want to have only animate files, and I will go back to the Adobe Animate. I will go to the file, publish settings. And I'm going to choose the location where I want this to be published. So it is going to be, let me make sure that I am correctly. Yes, so in here where I have my animate file, and I'm going to create new document which I'm going to call index, and I will go inside of this index and I will call this one to be index. That's not necessary, but I'm used to call it like that. I will hit save, I will hit OK, and I will go to the file and I'm going to hit publish. And right now we are going to have here index, and we are going to have JavaScript, HTML and images in here. And what I'm going to do right now is I will go to the file, publish settings one more time, and I will go to do is HTML.js, and I will unclick these hosted libraries. That's something which is necessary if you want this to work in Google Ads. I will hit OK, I will hit file, and I will hit publish, and it is going to add me one additional file in here, like so, these libraries. And now I will go to this website. I'm also going to provide you a link in the description, but basically if you want this to work in Google Ads, you will have to add this little code to your HTML5 file. So I will go in here and I will right click on this index, and I'm going to open this with brackets. Basically you have to have some text editor which allows you to open the code. You can have Notepad, you can have brackets as I have, or I used to work with Sublime Text or Atom, but basically something which allows you to open a code, and they are usually free to download, but yeah, you have to have something. And I'm going to open a code like this, and between this second meta and this title, or about the title, I'm going to paste this like so, Ctrl V, and I'm going to just change my width and height. So my width is 300, that's fine, but my height is the height of the banner is 600, so I'm going to change this to 600. I will hit Ctrl S to save this. I will close this, and right now I'm going to right click on this index, and I'm going to choose send to. I have this in Spanish, as I said, and I want to go with zip file, and we are going to have something like this. And right now my banner is 130 kilobytes, which is fine. But there is a possibility that if you are going to be working with more images or the bigger images, you are going to have an issue. So what you could do, and it has saved us in the work many times, this PNG in the images, you can go to the website. You can go to the website TinyPNG, And basically what you can do is you can go ahead and drag this PNG in here, and he is going to compress you this. It is going to save you like 12 kilobytes in our case, and right now I would download this, and I would put it to the place where I have my my images. So I would put it in here, like so, and I would replace this file with this one. So I would hit save, and I would hit yes. And right now what I could do is I can go ahead and get rid of this zip file, and I can do this one more time. So right click, send to, and zip file, and right now this is going to be smaller by 9 kilobytes. So you could do something like this. But yeah, this is it, this is all. If you have watched until the end, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope that you have learned something new, that you have enjoyed this tutorial, and yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in some other tutorial. I have right now in my channel lists of the tutorials, so you can find something about After Effects, about Animate, about JavaScript, and so on. So thank you very much, and goodbye.